Alrighty, here we go. So I was gonna call this something about, Tales of a Drifter or something like that, but then I thought, you know what, let's take it off me and let's talk about a larger uh, scenario, I guess, or a larger trend. I'll put it that way. I think a lot of folks in the U.S. feel alienated from each other. Not in the sense of, now, like I say, I've been seeing this one guy who said, basically it's not as bad. What's going on in the U.S. is not as bad as what occurs in like Brazil or something like that, where you don't trust your neighbor or this and that. It's like, okay, but there is alienation in this country. I can't speak for the rest of the world, so like I say, I stick to an Americentric point of view because that's all I really know. But there is a lot of alienation that exists. Part of it comes from capitalism. Part of it comes from technology. Part of it just comes from the evolution of both of those things. A lot of people feel alienated and feel like they are simply a number, a cog in the machine, because that's how they are treated. There are a lot of, a lot of this whole sort of lip service where it's just like, if this department wins and you get a pizza party, why don't I just get more money? That's what people say. Why don't you just give me more money instead of all this bullshit? Oh, you get a little prize and whatnot. I don't want the prize. Give me more money, right? Because that's what capitalism has made into us. It's like, yeah, give me more money for this instead of all this sort of BS. You know what I'm saying? So it's just so disingenuous, to say the least, when you see this sort of stuff. That's the sort of alienation that exists, I think, on a basic level. Of course, yeah, you could talk about race as well, between, BLM and whiteness and, critical race theory and all that. To a point, I think that some of that will be reversed because this will cause troubles in schools, I think, both in, like primary school and secondary school. In the American context, that means basically grades, preschool through 12th grade being primary, and then secondary being college. Like I say, apologies for the low energy. I just stayed up late and everything, so if I seem kind of down, apologies. But I think that there will be a pushback on critical race theory regardless. And I think that it's not going to be as a big effect as it could be, because I think that it will destroy cohesion. So once again, I mean, as they say, you shouldn't kick your enemy, or you shouldn't, you shouldn't try to critique your enemy when they're making a mistake. I say continue on with the critical race theory. It's the same thing with Vosh. Vosh, please make the Republican Party irrelevant. That way you can have more outright fascist parties. Just do that. Go ahead. Go ahead and create the real Nazgul vortex. When you get rid of the Republicans altogether, or you make them irrelevant, then you simply create a vacuum. But of course, people like that don't understand that, so they're just like, well, whatever. So yeah, I mean, that's where we are at today. I feel like the alienation is not going to go away anytime soon, obviously, in the United States. But it's going to be increased immensely in time. And it's going to create a lot of hurt. It's going to create a lot of anger. And of course, this is where people say, well, we want to de-radicalize people. You don't want to de-radicalize people. You want them radicalized to your side. I've repeated that before, but this is kind of where a lot of the de-radicalization folks talk about, where they're just like, well, if we do this, if we just stop people from, joining these parties and everything, or joining, these fascist groups or whatever, a lot of which are defunct. Not to say I'm sitting here and defending them, but it's like, yeah, a lot of them are defunct. A lot of folks just fed post online, and the federal government is monitoring the hell out of these places. Telegram, Gab, these are all places that you think that there aren't feds in there already. Come on, of course there are. But the thing is this, is you're going to leave people with no other choice, so that they're going to have to do these things. They may be hugely reluctant, but they realize that this is just the way it is, and there's nothing you can do about it. I live in Texas. I live in relatively small town Texas. So for me, I know that there's going to be, probably a lot of neo-Confederate groups, a lot of, just outright, just like, just sort of racist, liberal sort of stuff. Like, I don't like the Chinese. They're so, or whatever the case may be. But they'll take more of kind of like a Zionist tone, because obviously the state of Texas does a lot of work with Israel. The state of Israel's support gets a lot of support from the state of Texas, ironically. But that's a whole, like I say, I'm not going to dig into that. I'm just saying, I'm just ranting at this point. But the thing is, I'll bring it back. Let's bring it back around. Alienation is a very strong thing. It's a very strong force. And it can put people in a lot of places. But there's also a sense of conformity, where it's like, yeah, you feel alienated, so you conform to another group, regardless of, do you agree with everything that this group promotes? Probably not, but you feel that it's best for you, for your survival, for the continuation of your business, or whatever parameter it is. So to me, alienation and conformity go hand in hand. Is that, yeah, you may alienate yourself from mainstream ideas, but you conform to radical beliefs. Maybe that's the dialectic that exists. Or maybe I'm just an idiot. Sorry. Maybe I'm just an idiot. I almost sounded drunk there. Sorry. But yeah, I feel like that's where it stands. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say on that. I want to try to make this somewhat short, and hope y'all enjoy that. See you later, and a goodbye.